So you can look over here and tell me about. Just tell me about what you remember. What's your earliest memory? Being a little boy. The earliest thing you remember being a little boy.
Well, just going to school, grammar school. That's about the size of it. I mean,
when you were little, let's see, when you were little in Mesilla, do you remember being in Mesilla?
Not really.
You don't remember being in Mesilla? Do you remember when you got polio?
A little bit.
Do you remember that?
When I was in the hospital.
You remember being in the hospital?
Yeah, I was in the hospital for about a year.
Uh-huh.
And then they took me out, and next thing I remember, we were here in California.
In Santa Ana, okay. So tell me what you remember about Santa Ana.
Santa Ana, I remember that we started going to Del High School.
Uh-huh.
It was a nice school. Then we moved to Fresno.
Okay. When you were in Santa Ana, you were in grade school?
Pre-primer, they call it. They used to call it.
So it was before high school. Now, Louis came up and moved in with you.
Yeah, that was in 1941, I think.
That Louis moved.
So when the Japanese were here.
He said that's when Micaela.
Yeah. Michelle. They call her Michelle.
Michelle brought him over. Yeah. You remember that? Do you remember that?
I remember a little bit.
Uh-huh. And then living there at the house. Who lived with her there at the house with you?
My mom, my dad, Angie, and Abel, and me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Louis came in. He stayed there with us for quite a while till they came to pick him up.
Do you remember what Grandpa did for a living?
Yeah, he used to work in the shipyard.
Oh, he worked in the shipyard.
Yeah.
So he came because of the war. Then I guess the war effort and wanted to work the shipyard.
1941, yeah.
Um.
There were a lot of Japanese people. They used to have them in concentration camps. They used to go to school with us.
Did they?
They were mean.
Were they?
Yeah, I barely remember it. They went after Louis and the other kids. It was funny. You gotta ask him about it. He'll tell you.
I will. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna go talk to Louis too. Well, what about now? When you moved to Fresno, tell me about the move to Fresno. What you remember about that? Because I remember you said you took us out one time.
When we moved to Fresno, we came and we moved to Biola. Alex, my brother Alex, was living there. Alex and Fernie were little. We were little. It was pretty nice. We spent a lot of time together there. Summer times were good. We used to go swim in the ditches. And we went to school to Roosevelt Grammar School on, I think it's Belmont. It's not there no more, but it used to be there. And then we came to Fresno.
Who moved to Fresno first, Uncle Alex? Or?
Yeah, Alex.
And then Grandpa got this piece of land up here. So
He bought that land right there. It's half an acre. It was pretty good, I guess.
And who built the house there?
My dad.
By himself?
Well, him and Abel, they used to bring in some pieces of wood, and they didn't know how to carpenter. They just put in nails, put it up together, that's it. They made a big room, and then after a big room, they start dividing it with pieces of wood.
Mm-hmm.
They made three rooms out of it.
Oh, the kitchen, the dining room, or their bedroom.
Yeah, and the bathroom in the back. So we used to have a very nice toilet way in the back, outside toilet. It was spooky because when it was raining, wow.
So what do you remember from your childhood living there when you were a little kid?
Where?
When you were living over here.
That I used to sneak out. Well, I was in my childhood. I was about 15, 16. I used to sneak out from the little room in the back. Me and Dolphy, John, Ray Martinez, we used to take off. We used to go to drive-in, drink wine. We used to steal the wine from Tano, from up the hill. We used to buy gallons. The next day we used to have the runs. it was, I don't know how we could drink it, but it was hungry. Now that I think about it,
Now, how about Grandma and Grandpa? What do you remember of them from those early days?
they were good parents. They were.
Pretty strict.
My dad was strict. My mom, she used to give him more breaks than my dad. But he was a very loving friend, father. Other than that, he was strict.
Do you remember any? You may remember any stories that could kind of illustrate or show?
No, but he used to tell us stories.
Like?
Yeah.
Like?
Like El Caballo de Siete Colores.
What?
That was a good horse.
Oh, he would just tell you stories.
Yeah, stories
Oh.
of what he used to hear when they were young. When they were young, they used to tell each other stories. Real nice. Real good
No,
stories.
no. I mean, when you were a kid, is there like incidences, examples you can have of where Grandpa tried to teach you lessons?
Yeah, when he used to whip me. He used to try to teach
Wait, give me
me.
an example when he would bring out the belt.
Well, I mean,
What would you do to make him bring out the
I
belt?
can't remember. You think I'm going to?
Okay, would it have to be really bad?
Oh yeah, dude, yeah. He really used to hit me with a belt. And then when we used to go visit his friends, his compadres, he used to take a little belt about so big and used to tell him, if you don't behave. He used to call that Margarita. Aquí está Margarita. Well, of course, we used to behave.
Tell me the story about when Grandma sent you out for tortillas.
Oh, no, there was when Alex was little, he must have been about 13, 14. And they used to tell me, well, my dad and Alex afterwards, he used to tell us that he went to see my tío. They used to live in the ranch. They used to have a lot of goats, horses, and cows. And the girls were making tortillas. And right there by the kitchen by the corral, where the goats were. And nobody thought about it until, we started getting real gabacho, like, ooh. But anyway, the goat was right there, and they used to make the tortilla and make a mess out of the tortilla. Take the holes, and Alex seen all this, and he didn't want to eat. And they used to cover it up. What the heck? It was a good tortilla. That's and ever since then he didn't want to go back there and especially to eat.
What about when? No, I'm thinking about the other tortilla story where Grandma sent you off for Grandpa's.
Oh, well, they sent me to buy some tortillas. They gave me a quarter and buy some tortillas here at the store. But then I met my friends coming in a car, and I wanted to act real tough, Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to the theater to show. You want to ride? Well, I wasn't going to say no. So I got out, I got in the car, and they took me to the White Theater. They dropped me off, and I had to walk back because I didn't have money for the bus. When I got there, it was 12 o'clock when they sent me. It was 5 o'clock that's when I got it. They really scolded me. My dad really scolded me, but I had to do that because I didn't want those girls to see that I wasn't. I was being what do you call it? Go tortilla, go buyer. It was funny.
You want to look like a real Mexican.
I wanted to be like a real man. I went to the theater. After they took off, I started walking back.
Now you don't. Okay. All right. Let me get some of that. Tell me about your first TV.
Oh, my first TV was it was a portable but very heavy. It only had 3 channels, I think, which was.
Tell me how that whole thing transpired. Do you remember? Did Grandpa run out and buy? Did he take you with him? Did he go shop?
I don't remember. He just said he wanted a TV because the neighbors had one, but the Borregos had one, and he said he was gonna get us one, so he went and got one. But the darn thing used to go out at 6 o'clock. We had no TV until the following morning at 8 o'clock. Yeah, when they used to turn it on, and we used to watch. What? The very popular one was Robin Hood.
Mm.
I remember that we used to see a lot of episodes of Robin Hood. Robin Hood.
What was Grandpa's favorite thing to eat? Grandma would make from.
Beans and potatoes.
That was it.
Yeah, he used to like a lot of stuff like menudo. My mom used to make it for him. Chile colorado, tamales. Those were their specialties. But other than that, everyday food was beans and potatoes and fideos. And chili, of course.
Grandpa ate a lot of chili.
Yeah.
How about Grandma? What was her? What she sewed her own clothes?
No.
No. She had a sewing machine. She had an old fashioned.
Yeah, she had a sewing machine, but she used to make clothes. Like she used to, we used to have buy harina, el faro, harina la piña to make tortillas, and those sacks after the harina was gone, she used to make blouses out of it or shirts. I remember wearing those shirts. In the back, you used to have XXXX.
What
for my mom?
what about the my mom said that Grandma used to be like a healer, like a curandera kind of person, where people used to come to her because she knew these home remedies. She knew a lot of room.
She knows some home remedies, but nobody used to come in.
Well, what I mean by people from the family would come to see her. She would know.
Just the kids, like
exactly.
Anita used to come and, Mom, ¿cómo se hace esto? And she used to tell her, pero no, people from other, no.
No, I don't mean she had like a clientele. No, I mean the family would come to see her when they were sick. Cause she knew.
Like ruda, chuchupaste was good for chewing it, and then you rub it on your. That was the Indians' remedies.
Mm.
And we used to eat a lot of, well, not eat it, but we used to, like when you had a stomach ache or a cold, just to rub manteca or Vicks. That's about the only.
When you were little, what did their day usually consist of? What did they usually do during the day? Do you remember? Can you think of a typical day? What a typical day was like?
Well, just play. We used to play. And
no, I'm talking about Grandma and Grandma. Grandma, what would they do?
I don't remember.
Grandma would get up early, make breakfast, make coffee, and
fix the house. And
do you remember just whatever your earliest memory is that you could think of what their typical day was like?
I really didn't pay attention to it, Richard. We used to get up, take off, and go play ourselves. And I never knew what my mom and dad were doing.
Because I remember when I would spend the night, I'd wake up. Grandma would always be in the kitchen. She'd making something to eat, and I would smell coffee brewing. And Grandma.
What I used to like when I was going to high school, we used to come in the evening. Well, we used to get up at 3:30, I think. By 4 o'clock, Angie was making dinner. It used to smell so good. The tortillas, the coffee. Ooh, they used to, just smell the whole. And I guess everybody was doing it because it was just a big smell. It smelled so good, coffee and tortillas. And then by the time we got home, we used to steal the tortillas from Angie. She used to get mad at us. And, well, we were hungry.
So how come Aunt Angie would make the dinner?
Because she didn't work. She was home all the time.
But how come Grandma wasn't doing it?
Because she used to go to work. Her and my dad used to go chop cotton, do whatever was due.
Mainly farm work, huh? Yeah, when I remember, when I would spend the night, I'd get up in the morning and Grandpa'd be outside tending the garden, always working in the garden, always doing something outside. Hardly ever.
That's why it was so pretty outside.
Yeah.
Because he was always attending it. He was always there.
And Grandma too, it seemed like.
Yeah, she used to like to be outside.
And Grandpa and Uncle Abel told me that Grandpa would would splice together different types of fruit trees to make up different kind of fruits.
You know, that's called drafting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he used to do that.
Yeah. It
He
used
used
to
to
be,
have a peach, an apricot. One side was apricot, the other one was peach on the same tree. Huh? Nobody did that before. And yeah, he used to do that.
one of the great things I remember when I was little is when I used to stay over at Grandma and Grandpa's house, is that everybody would always go over to see them. That's how I ended up knowing how most of our family, because when I was there, they would always go to their house. It seemed like anytime someone would come to town, they would need to stop, to go see. And Mom said they used to call him Don Rómulo.
Romulo. Or Romulito.
Or Romulito.
And my mother used to call her Maximina or Mina. But that's the way it was. That's the way it's supposed to be, I guess.
Yeah, like it was a sign of respect. They had to go see the elder folks in Fresno, which was, and I would see a lot of people come by.
Yeah. The one who used to like to come a lot was Marcelo and Pepa.
Mm.
Especially Marcelito. He used to like to come and eat my mom's food. She used to cook good. Yeah, that's the way it was in the old good old days. In the 50s. Right here, right that street right there, Tillman. It was nothing but gravel. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, it wasn't a paved.
It wasn't pavement, no. It was gravel. And then they started, there's this post right here, I remember when they put it up. And that one on the corner up there. So they've been here since I've been here, 1947.
Wow. Okay, I think we're good.